Welcome back to my garden. My name is Robin. I garden in Zone 6 in Northwest Connecticut. So today I wanted to talk about what is my bulb planting plan for this fall for tulips and alliums and daffodils, muscari, fritillaria for next spring. So this is a good time of year while everything is still growing, where I can see where there's maybe pockets that I want to put things in. When I pull the dahlias out, I'm going to be putting some in. I am going to actually be putting a lot of my tulips this year in containers because I'm having a lot of trouble with voles. If you've been following me, you hear me complain about this time and time again. So let's take a walk around and take a look at where I think I might actually be able to fit some in and what my plan is. It's actually pretty windy today, even though it is an absolutely gorgeous day, which is why I'm trying to get out and do these plans now. So this is one of my new beds, completely brand new, because I put in this path, and this whole bed over here underneath my hawthorn trees is brand new. So I'm always in all my beds. I continually add compost, mulch, trying to get organic material into my soil. I have very heavy clay soil. So how do I actually plant bulbs? I use an auger, power planter auger to dig the holes, and I usually put like 5 tulips or whatever in each, and then I put maybe 5 different bunches together. So I do try to clump them all in an area. So where I have holes, where I'm going to pull the dahlia out, I will have an opportunity here to put in some tulips and some daffodils. So it's a good time to get going. We want some early spring color, and daffodils, muscari are going to give that kind of stuff to us. There are certain daffodils that are going to naturalize better than others. And depending how far away you are from your house, you might want to put some bigger varieties in so they're easier to see. I am going to be putting some lasagna bulb planters together, and we'll do that probably in a couple of weeks yet. So when do your bulbs bloom is something you want to think about. Early, mid, late, and that goes for both narcissus, daffodils, for tulips. There are different bloom times, so this is something to think about. I usually aim more for mid and late, and I'm careful about things that bloom too early so I don't lose in a bad late frost. So let's keep checking out the garden and see where I might pop some things. If you've been following me all year, you know that alliums, especially the big purple globe ones, are some of my favorites. So I have a lot of allium globe master in this bed right here. I also had some little white ones over there. I am going to add more globe masters to this bed because they just really add something special to the early spring garden when all the perennials are starting to pop, like the catmint I have here, like the chocolate shogun astilbe, and the daylilies. And before the daylilies start blooming, you have the strappy leaves coming up. Same with the salvia, and that's a great time. So I call this my purple bed. So you do want to pay attention to the height of your bulbs, so you can make sure you see them. So if it's a really low bulb, whether it's a tulip or an allium or a daffodil, if it's low, make sure you're going to plant it towards the front of your borders. If it's taller, you can pop it in the back. One of the things you want to pay attention to with daffodils, especially, is remember, especially daffodils come back year after year. So you have to remember to leave the foliage on until it completely dies back. This is so the bulb can keep getting more strength from the ground after it flowers. So plan them around other perennials that will hide that dying foliage, like daylilies and stuff. So as I mentioned, I planted 3 new garden areas this year. So I have lots of opportunities for the approximately 900 bulbs I ordered. Oh my God, a little crazy. And as I mentioned, like right over here where I'm pulling out dahlias, I'll pop in tulips. I'm also planning on potting up a lot of them, like I said, and hopefully that's going to help. And I'm thinking maybe next year I might even do the same with the dahlias. I'm also, hang on, let's go to a different area. As I'm pulling out annuals, I'm also trying to figure out where I'm going to have some holes that I might want to put in some tulips. And I'll be able to, with things, some of the things are going to go in pots, not everything though. So with 860, obviously they all can't go in pots. I'm not Klaus Dalby. I wish I was. But so I want to figure out where I'm going to have holes to fill in. Now I also do have some other plants that I'm going to start pulling out this year. So let me show you, like this phlox right here. So these are older varieties of phlox. I have a couple here, and they're really prone to powdery mildew. I am replacing them with, I have some opalescence that I planted this year, and that seems to be doing pretty well, and it's actually still reblooming. So I'm going to try to put in some newer varieties. Also, this bed has gotten very, very crowded. So I'm going to try and move things around. So this is Phlox opalescence from Proven Winners. And I think that has done pretty well. Like I said, this bed is getting really crowded. So I have asters here. I've got baptisias in here. I've got a couple Amsonias that I think are kind of getting, the black-eyed Susans really just take over everything. I have black-eyed Susans here. They keep spreading in here, and every year I end up pulling some of them out. On the other hand, this miscanthus grass is just gorgeous this year. Just gorgeous. So all in all, the garden is looking good, but let's find some more pockets. So I also have places where I pulled out annuals, like right down here. So I'll have that area that I can put stuff in. These are the other little alliums that I had. And like I said, there's a lot of space in this bed, but I keep this bed for my Allium Globe Masters. So let's check out the other beds. This big bed, if you remember, so I just did the raised bed, added some cold hardy, cool season flowers in the far bed over here. I still haven't gotten rid of the tomatoes that are in there. I still have carrots. I still have some dahlias here. But in this bed, I definitely have room to get in some bulbs. So I'll probably be doing some tulips. I think I'm really going to put some daffodils in here, maybe some nice big white ones. I think I ordered Mount Hood. I have thalia, and I'm going to keep that for my bulb lasagna. But I have definitely more than enough room in this bed when I pull the dahlias out. So as you can see, I have lots of space, especially right along here in the front. I put some sweet peas in, and I think I'll have a lot of good space for that. So right down there, I put in sweet peas. Like I said, I've got cold season annuals in there, cold hardy. I've got a climbing rose that I added, but I definitely have room along the front over here that I can pop in tulips and daffodils. I won't do marigolds. I put those in last year. The rabbits ate them. I didn't even realize the rabbits liked them, so that was kind of hysterical. But again, when I pull out the dahlias that are in this bed, I'll have some more room. And you can see I actually have some dahlias growing here. I think this is B-Man, finally. Yeah. And I've got Mystique getting ready to open up, my lovely vole trap. But when these things come out, I'll have some more room. And I think that'll put some nice early spring color into this bed. So the same thing goes for this bed. I had annuals all in front of these hostas. I think it's called Brother Stefan is this hosta. And supertunias, I think is what I had in there. So this would be a nice spot also. I'd like to start getting maybe some daffodils, and I'd like to pop them in between here. So when the hostas are really small, I mean, you can see, you know, I have lots of new growth, but it's that time of year. The hostas are starting to look pretty sad. But I'd like to get some daffodils in and among these, and then in the spring with the spireas all in bloom or even all green, that'll look really nice, I think. So before I walk right by it, I just wanted to show you Radon's aster is finally in bloom. Oh, it is so pretty. It fills this whole corner. I'm absolutely loving it. You might remember that I redid this bed earlier this year. I pulled out all those orange daylilies. So here's the Radon's aster. That peace rose was a gift, and it has just grown amazing. Along the back there, those black-eyed Susans, Herbstone, Henry Eilers, Careen, those have all finished blooming. I just haven't gotten around to cutting them back, and I'll leave them until the seed heads are destroyed by the birds. I've got a big Joe Pye weed there. And the helenium is also finished. So down in the front, I have drops of Jupiter oregano, and that still looks really good. The cone flowers, for the most part, are pretty well done, and so is the Russian sage in the back there. But I do have a couple of Oh So Easy roses that are still blooming, and of course I have the Moudry grass over here. So I think this area is pretty full. I'm not going to put any tulips in here. Sorry, this bed is pretty much in the shade at the moment. So this is my last new bed that I put in. So, you know, I have a bunch of hydrangeas in here. I have a pine down at the end. So I have a few dahlias in here. I put in some daisies. I put in some new catmint. And I moved some daylilies into here. So I still have a couple of annuals that I haven't pulled out of here, but I'll have a lot of space here, and I can see this from our bathroom window on our half bath. I can actually see this bed. So this is going to be a great place for me to put in tulips and daffodils, maybe some fritillaria. And I'm actually looking forward to this one because this will be a nice early spot where I can actually have some color. This bed has muscari, fritillaria, hyacinths in it, and in the spring the daylilies do start coming up pretty early, as does all the ring of catmint here. So I will actually put in some tulips. Last year I had Dordon in there, but mostly the fritillaria and the muscari, and just a couple tulips, but I'll pop some pots possibly in there. So the other thing, let's see, the other place, let me just give you a quick, I still have a ton of cosmos. I pulled out some of the zinnias, but I still have a lot of zinnias. Pulled out the basil, and I still have, I don't really have any sunflowers left. And then the other spot that I will put a lot of tulips is right here where Plain the Blues salvia is. This is the most unbelievable annual performer. I love it. I plant it every single year. So this year I will have French Blend Rose from Color Blends in there. I did that last year all over this front area. So I had it also over here where I have more salvias over here that are annuals. Those will come out, and then I've got the catmint all around. So this whole area in here will have some French Blend Rose, and then when I pull out the dahlias over here, sorry, then I will have, same thing, I'll fill that area with tulips. So this is kind of where we're at as far as what my planting plan is for bulbs for this year. So please stay tuned. Please subscribe, hit that like button. As always, it really does make a difference. And I'll see you in the next video.